Okay, this week we are working with the Excel Capstone. So we are in Excel. I've already downloaded my instructions and my starter file from Blackboard. You can see on this one I have my instructions on the left side and my Excel worksheet over here on my right. First thing you want to do is save it with your last name in the title. What we're going to be doing is messing with some of the charts and the data to help make it look a little bit better for our employer. The first thing he wants us to do is to go to the Revenue and Expenses worksheet, which is the worksheet that we're on. You can see the name down here at the bottom. And in K1, so we're going to go here to K1, make that our active cell. We want to insert a formula using the Today function. So I can come here to the Formula tab, and I can go to the date and time. I'm going to come right down here to where it says Today, and say OK. So it's going to put whatever date that you are creating this on in that box. Now we want to fill the range D4 to F4. So here it is D4 to F4. With a series based on the value in C4. So here's C4, we have September. If we move our mouse over and put it on the autofill box here, fill handle, we can move it over, and it's going to automatically put those months in for us, so we don't have to worry about misspelling anything. In A4, so we're going to come to A4, we've got the text San Antonio office. We can look at that right up here and see where our text is. And we want to merge and center the contents of range A4 down to A17. So instead of going across, we're going down. On the Home tab, we have our Merge and Center button here. We want to rotate our text. So right up here is our, is the orientation. And we want to rotate the text. Let's just go to the Format Cell alignment there. And we want it to go up to 90 degrees. And we want it to be middle aligned. So let's just do 90 degrees there. We want it to be middle aligned, the cell. And we want to resize the column to 6. Come on, there we go. All right. We want to auto-fit column B. So we come up here between B and C and double-click to automatically set the width on there. Now in C7, we're going to complete the calculations for the revenue data. So we're going to come down here to C7. I'm C8. C7, we're going to enter the number 45,600. In C8, we're going to use the sum function. So come right up here and select sum and then enter. Make sure your box is around the correct numbers before you hit the enter key. And now we're going to copy the formula from C8 using our fill handle here to F8. And then we also want to use the same sum in H8. We want to format C13 to F16, so we're going to select C13 to F16. Then we're going to hold down the Control key and select H13 to H16. And then we want to use the comma style. So up here in our number on our Home tab, we're going to hit the comma. To the comma style. And you can see I've got these hashtags here. What that means is that my column is not wide enough to fit my numbers. So I can just come up here and I can just double click on each one of these to resize it so that it fits the largest entry. Now you might not have that on your worksheet, so don't worry if you didn't get the hashtag, but if you did, that's what that means. It just means that your cell isn't wide enough. Let's scroll on here, ready for number 7. We want to display the highest and lowest revenue amounts from September to December. So we want to go with cell C24 here. We want a formula using the min function. So I can come up here to my function box here on my home tab, select min, and I want the lowest from C5 to F7. So I'm going to select the range C5 and go down to F7. Make sure you don't select the totals. You can hit enter, and there's my lowest revenue. And then C25, I want the max. So I'm going to come back up here to my sum button, and this time I'm going to select max, and I'm going to select that range again, C5 to F7. I'm going to hit the enter key, and there's my max. I want to apply the outside borders to the range B24 to C25. So the first thing I need to do is just select the range. So I've got I want B24 to C25. I'm going to come up here to my borders over here under the font grouping. I'm going to come down here to more borders. And I want the outside borders and the color. I want to be the black, text 1, lighter 35. So this one right there, and say OK. Just going to set that off a little bit more. So page 2, in the clustered column chart in the range over here from J to P, we're going to make some changes here. First thing we want to do is switch the rows and columns. So I'm going to come up here to the Format tab and the Design tab. Here's Switch Row and Column, which is going to switch my data around. We did this in the M&M chart, so that shouldn't be anything new. We want to move the legend. So I'm going to come over here to the Add Chart Elements and come down to Legend. We want it on the right side. We want to go back to Chart Element, and we want our axis title. We want our primary vertical axis title, and we want that to be monthly amount. Then we want our chart title to be expenses by type. We want to change the fill color of our December series, which is this light pink. So I come over here to this little salmon color and select it. I'm going to come up here to my Format tab, and I'm going to go here to my Shape Fill, and I'm going to change that to dark red, accent 1, and it's going to change all of them for December. Again, we did this with the M&M chart. And then we want to add a chart border. We want the black, so we're going to go back here to Format and our outline. And we want it to be the black, text 1 lighter 50%. There we go. We also want to include a chart showing the monthly profits for the San Antonio office. So I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to create a donut chart based on C21 to F22. So I'm going to come up here to C21, and I'm going to come down here to F22. I'm going to come up here to Insert, and I've got my charts. And here in the circle chart, I have my donut, so I'm going to select the donut chart. I want this to be repositioned, so where it's in J19, let's move this over here for you, J19 and P31. So I'm just going to move this side of this chart a little bit. I want the chart title to be September to December profit. And I want layout 6. So here's my quick layouts, and I want layout 6. So it's going to put those off to the side there. And I've got percentages on each part of my chart. So the last thing we want to do here, step 10, we want to create a stacked column chart based on the range B4 to F7. So I'm going to select the range B4, and then I'm going to come down here to F7. Make sure you don't select the total areas. And then I'm going to come back up here to Insert, and I want a stacked column chart. So here's my columns. More columns. Over here I want a stacked column. Say OK. I want to move this chart to a new sheet. So I'm going to come up here under the Design tab and go to Move Chart. I want it on a new sheet. And I want that sheet to be called Revenue Chart. OK. I want to change the chart style to style 7. I want to change the font size of everything to 14, so I just come up here to go to Home and then select 14. It's going to make everything style 14. And I don't need the chart title, so I can just select it and hit Delete. So your charts, you should have one sheet that's by itself like this. And then your revenue and expenses sheet should have the donut chart on it as well. I don't know why the donut chart isn't on the final figures over here, but it should be on there. So now you're ready to save that chart and submit it in Blackboard for grading.